elevated. Now it's my time to shine, yeah, let's go. Graduated, elevated. Now it's my time to shine, yeah, let's go. Major moves, power moves. Take it to the top one time non-stop. Gotta go, gotta flow. Take it to the...
No, I respect that. Thank you very much for sharing. So when it comes to the future then, because you know what you're working on, and at some point you'll be defending your thesis. Is this just I need a PhD, or is this a passion to say I want to continue to a postdoc?
First, I would try to be political about that. For
Maybe
me,
I shouldn't have asked.
Yeah, my academic journey has never been like a straight line where I go from bachelor degree to master's, then the next year I'm doing PhD. It has always been after bachelor, I have to wait and I observe and see which direction I have to take so that I don't go forward and backward. For example, when I got my bachelor degree, that was around 2009. And it took me up to 3 to 4 years for me to get my master's degree. And when I got my master's degree, I had to sacrifice again 1 year doing another master's. So that within that period, I try to identify if I really want to go to the industry or I want to remain in research. And now I found myself doing PhD. So if I tell you that immediately after this, I'm going to continue with postdoc or I'm going to go to the industry, then I will be lying. So at the moment, I keep everything open and I hope that I'm going to take the right decision. But of course, if I end up going to the industry, I cannot, as far as I'm concerned, I cannot wipe out the fact that in the future I'm coming back to research because research is always part of me. I'm somebody who I want to be part of those who are giving that effort, those who are treating the patient, those who are coming out with something good. I want to be part of it. I don't just want to sit somewhere and be observing. Yeah.
I think your answer is not politically correct. I think that's your truth. And I respect your truth because we all have different journeys and there's no right or wrong way. It's just you need to gauge your wants and needs and what works for your future or current situation, if that makes sense. So I think it's valid. So just to round off on your research then, how many mice are you looking at? And how many have died?
For example, on monthly basis, I receive mice in my lab. For one experiment, I have like 40 mice.
40.
And for that experiment, I use both photon and proton. So I can use 20 for photon and use 20 for proton. And the conditions, the various conditions which I'm testing, they are more than close to 5. So at the end of the day, I will have to keep more. I will have to sacrifice close to 500 mice, or even more.
But they are well fed, aren't they? While they're in your.
We have animal caretakers here. I have been trained. I have received certification on how to work with them. You don't just handle animals like you handle whatsoever. We have protocols on how we follow them on their daily feeding. We monitor to see if everything is okay. And if at a given time we notice that the animal is suffering, we then have to say that, okay, we have to continue with the research because we are more interested with the result. We have to relieve the animals from the pains. And so also we also try to develop other strategies to see how we can reduce the number of animals which we are actually using in our research. So if we notice that there are certain results that we might get maybe just by literature or by collaborating with another lab, then we go for that so that we reduce the number of animals that we will sacrifice. So me saying that I will kill close to 300 or 500 mice, it is just because those are the least number that will enable me to get the result that I really want.
No, I think in terms of the audience at home, just to clarify, there is training that goes into this, and there's documentation, and social media is not allowed. You can't be filming the mice if they're going through pain, and we can't really disclose anything outside of the GDPR policies. So that's what we're trying to explain here. And when we say death, you know, that's just a symptom of the testing that's going to happen. You know, we are aware of what we're doing, and we try as much as Folefac has explained to say collaboration with other labs as well. Just wanted to clarify that before you come for us, but it's in line with policies in terms of the university policies. So to move on then, sorry.
Maybe I just add something to that. And so we have what we call the EU policy, where the EU have the guidelines on which you have to follow in order to conduct animal experiments. And before you even start conducting animal experiment within European Union, you must write that certification exam. So you are trained on how you can handle it. Then when you get to your own laboratory, as the case here in Denmark, they also have their own protocols, which they have adopted from the EU protocol, which you have to follow. So I receive without pre-notification supervisors coming here at any time to come and check to see if everything is okay. And for the past 2 years that I've been here, everything have been okay, and the animals have been good. Yeah.
That's really good. Yeah, thank you very much for clarifying for the audience, because I know that some people they will ask questions. So I thought it best we disclose that, just so that it's covered.
Yeah.
Legally as well, just in case. So in terms of where do you see yourself in 5 years? I know you've broadly touched on this question, and you said your duty of care is to the service user. So where do you see yourself when you're sat in your room and you're thinking, okay, I would love to do that? Where are you in your head?
You know, as a PhD student, you always you always have a lot at the table which you have to handle. And at the moment, what I'm really focused on is trying to see how I can build this foundation, which is coming out with this real result, because the result I'm going to get at the moment are going to really define my next step in the future. But of course, I'm already doing something at the moment to which I'm quite sure that, being it in the industry, if I find myself at the end of the day, or being in academia, I will continue doing it. I'm trying to see how I can assist some of my students from Africa, so that I can guide them on how to get into research, especially those who are in biomedical science research. So I'm collaborating with some NGOs, especially based in Belgium, who are working in direction of trying to see how they can assist African students integrate in research in developing countries. I'm also working with alumni of all universities, which I have studied, especially alumni from University of Buea in Cameroon, where I obtained my bachelor degree, where we are trying to see how we can mentor the students there, so that some of the challenges that we had before, they might not face those same challenges. So that is one thing that I can assure you that after 5 years or after 10 years, I'll be doing. But in terms of other, I don't know, I might end up just doing that because I'm somebody who I want to help. And if at the end of the PhD, that is my call to do that, then I'm going to go into it. But to tell you that in terms of 5 years, I see myself in academia or in industry is something that, to be honest, I can't really predict at the moment.
No, thank you very much for your honesty. And I think the next question, you know, from a capitalist perspective, how does your research help the economy? How do you think it will help the economy?
Okay, so let's take, for example, if we were relying just on cancer patients receiving radiation treatment, so it means that at the end of the day, more patients will be going to the hospital because I told you we have this hypoxic cancer cell population which are resistant to radiotherapy. So bringing in my radiation treatment, it means we are going to limit the number of patients suffering from that. So it means we are going to limit the number of times or the number of resources that we will be using to treat patients who are coming again, like for recurrence. When you treat the cancer after 3 years, the cancer is coming back because there was this hypoxic cancer cells, which we could not treat it. But with my hyperthermia temperature, we are able to take care of it. And so it means that we are reducing, we are breaching that, and we can direct the resources, the remaining resources, to maybe other areas of the society or of healthcare.
Thank you very much for your response. So the next question is, do you think students should be judged on the number of publications that they have during their PhD?
Well, it might be in other areas, like in humanity, where you just have to do some literature and come out with publication and you publish. But as far as biomedical science is concerned, it is very difficult for you to get a paper which is publishable, something which the public can really appreciate. So I don't think having publication should be like a recommendation for you to look at somebody that, okay, this is what they have to rely on to tell if the person is doing good or the person is a good researcher or not. So we should not depend on research on publication alone. I'm talking in terms of biomedical science because I know how challenged it is, and I will not just want to go to the literature and then I look at a paper that somebody has published just for publishing, not publishing for the quality or for something which is going to be beneficial for the public. So it might be, if we are looking at if publication should be regarded as, or if you have to judge students based on publication, might be it should vary from disciplines.
That's a very good answer. I like that. Thank you. So I guess the next question is, I don't know if you've published, but do you feel fulfilled when you publish a paper? Do you feel like, yeah, that's me?
Of course, at the end of the day, if you are doing research and you cannot bring that research to the public, or you cannot expose what you are doing in the lab for your colleagues to see, or for somebody to just read it and have an idea of what is happening when you tell them, okay, I am doing research on this, then it won't make sense. So the paper that we have just published, that I just sent to you, I was more like happy to contribute to that paper. So I think it's a part of fulfillment for somebody to publish what he or she has been doing.
Right. So the next question is, do you have any words of encouragement for somebody that wants to resign from their PhD and they feel like, oh, I'm done?
Well, PhD is not an easy task, and only those who have been there can tell how it is. But of course, there is no task in the world. There is no place in the world without challenges. So I always encourage my colleagues and also those who are aiming to do PhD that you need to be mentally strong. You need to know that these challenges are going to come. So when you eventually face them, you should accept it as, oh, this is what I was expecting. So instead of just giving up at a given moment when you feel like, okay, the challenges are too much, maybe you could just take a break if you find yourself in that situation, and then you rethink when you can come and continue.
Profound. So the next question is, do you think getting to higher education, looking at your journey, do you think that it breaks the poverty cycle, or do you think that's all a dream, getting to do your master's and your PhD? It doesn't break anything, it gets you into more deficits, What's your opinion?
I think if anybody is coming into academia for money, let me put it in quote, or for financial reasons, then the person must be missing the road. So academia, if anybody coming to academia should be somebody who is ready to sacrifice, like I'm doing myself. You should keep aside the money part of it, because at the end of the day, what you are doing is more than what you expect if you have to compensate you with that. So I think your compensation should be the result that you are coming out, the people you are saving outside. So that should be the key reason driving somebody to come into PhD.
Yeah, I like that.
And if somebody is dreaming of maybe becoming the next Bill Gates or whosoever, I think he should be doing something else in terms of maybe marketing or whatsoever.
Just go into marketing. No, not this. No, I love that.
Yeah.
So in your opinion, because you're on PhD Hard Talk today, do you think PhD Hard Talk is beneficial to us doctoral students or to the universities as well? Or do you think, Noma, call it a day, it's not working, find something else to do with your time?
I think, like I told you at the beginning of this presentation, if you are doing a research and there is no way that you can tell the public what you are doing, then there is something wrong. And when you communicate with the public, it's not just telling the public, because I'm sure you are going to receive feedback from the public. And the feedback from the public is not just the layman in the public, but also it could be somebody in the field who is also working in area of research as you yourself. So I think PhD Hard Talk is a good platform where we have a lot to gain. And I believe that in the coming years, it's going to be more beneficial than what we are experiencing at the moment.
Wow, thank you. So you've told me that you've got some papers coming up. If people want to find you and are interested in your research, because I got really excited when I read the abstract, I'm not going to lie, and I was like, oh, I've never heard of it. So I went on the internet and I did some research, but you know, sometimes the tinternet gives you misinformation, to put it that way. If people want to get in contact with you, where can they find you?
First, before I talk about somebody getting in contact with me, it would be nice that I acknowledge the sponsors of my PhD and also tell you where you can get all the stuff that I'm doing at the moment. So my PhD is part of the Hyperboost, a project known as the Hyperboost project, which simply means that we are boosting radiation therapy using hyperthermia. And this project is sponsored by the European Union. And the various members of this project are coming from various institutions across various EU states, like in Denmark, in Netherlands, in Switzerland. And so he has brought together 14 early stage researchers, and I'm only one of the beneficiaries. And we have a website known as hyperboost.eu. So if you go to hyperboost.eu, you are going to see all the work that I will be publishing and also what my colleagues will be doing, because I'm just here to bring out the preclinical data. And so we have the modeling, those who are going to model the data in order to improve on it. Then we have medical doctors, we have the nurses, which are also working on it. So it's a big team. It's not just something that I'm coming out on my own. So that is a website that if you want to get everything concerning combining hyperthermia with radiotherapy, then you can go there and get it. But of course, individually on other social media platforms, you can look at me on Folefac Charlemagne Asonganyi on Instagram, or Folefac Charlemagne Asonganyi on LinkedIn. And on Facebook, I am Asonganyi Folefac. So those are the main social medias which you can easily link up to me. But I'm more interested on LinkedIn because it is there on LinkedIn that I'm mostly in touch with most researchers. So I would prefer that if you want me to get to you immediately, you can contact me on LinkedIn. Just type my name, Folefac Charlemagne Asonganyi.
Thank you very much. So We have come to the end of our discussion. You'll be glad to know. So don't forget at home to subscribe, like, and share as you should, and watch as well and ask questions, not just direct messages, but put them out there, because sometimes I don't know the answer, which is true. So don't forget to subscribe, and remember, hashtag project dissemination to the world, hashtag sustainable knowledge to the world. And thank you so much, Folefac and Charlemagne Asonganyi, for your time today. I've learnt so much, and I can't wait to do further reading, and all the details for the website, they'll be in the comment section below, and all the social media contact details, and also publications and future conferences that Folefac will be attending. So we'll have that on there for you at home. Thank you for your time.
It was a pleasure to speak with you, and I hope that in the coming days, we shall only looking how we can take this platform to another level. Thank you for having me on your program.